Secretary. At this time, the chair recognizes Dr. John Mark Yates, who will come and make a recommendation.
Fellow messengers, I come today to nominate my father, Dr. John L. Yates, for the position of Recording Secretary of the Southern Baptist Convention. For as long as I can remember, the SBC has been a part of my father's lifeblood. Some of you know what I mean. Summer vacations always seem to be around the second week of June. The location of that same vacation centered around this thing that was like a giant business meeting for days on end, plus preaching, lots of preaching. But every year, like clockwork, he was there. Why? Well, Dad believes in the life-altering, eternity-changing global work being done through men and women like you. He knew that during the battle of the Bible, it was worth a fight, because to lose sight of the Word of God was never an option. It's all about a kingdom focus that has led to his track record of service to churches and the convention for over 40 years. You see, he does this because he loves the local church. Pastoring churches in 6 different states in both new work areas as well as an established congregation gives him a unique perspective. He's been there, from the front lines of church planting to the struggle every pastor has with keeping a hand on the plow. He knows. Even as a denominational leader, you can ask any congregation where he preaches or any pastor with whom he serves that his passion is service to the local church. My mom and dad have served up here on the platform since his election in 1997. That's a long time. That's before I had gray hair and when I could still fit into my jeans from high school. That's before my brothers and I were married, or before Dad became known as Papa J to 9 grandkids. That's a long time of publishing books of reports and making sure that each and every motion and action is recorded accurately for us historians to tangle with later. Dad is a graduate of Dallas Baptist University and Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary. In 2006, after a healthy competition to be the first Yates to earn a doctorate, a race he soundly lost to his son, Dad received a doctorate of ministry degree from Midwestern Baptist Theological Seminary. But you want to know something crazy? Want to know how much he loves serving us as churches? He actually wrote his doctorate as a manual for future recording secretaries on how things work. Yes, my generation will never miss how the flow of information is supposed to happen thanks to his blood, sweat, and tears year after year, and because there's a dissertation that tells us how to do it all. Friends, today we have before us a discipler, a peacemaker, and a consistent Christ follower. As Southern Baptists, we benefit when leaders take what are often seen as thankless roles and fulfill them with excellence. Because I strongly believe that my father, John Yates, continues to be the choice to serve our Southern Baptist churches as recording secretary, it is my honor to nominate him for another term.
Thank you, Dr. Yates. Are there any other nominations for this position?
There are none.
At this time, the chair recognizes our registration secretary to give us instructions at this time.
Because there's only one nominee for the office of Recording Secretary, it is my privilege to cast a ballot at this convention for Dr. John Yates, my dear friend and boss from Missouri, as Recording Secretary of the Southern Baptist Convention.
John Yates is elected as Recording Secretary of the Southern Baptist Convention. Congratulations, sir. All right, we now have a report on the Vice President's election.
Thank you, Mr. President. At the time of our last ballot, there were 5,066 messengers registered, with 682 messengers casting ballots. For the office of Second Vice President, Jared Moore received 451 votes for 66.13% of the vote. Don Cass received 223 votes for 32.70% of the vote.
Again, those numbers are for Jared Moore, 451 votes for 66.13% of the vote. And Don Cass, 223 votes for 32.70% of the vote. We're now pleased to announce the second Vice President, Jared Moore, as second Vice President of the Southern Baptist Convention. Congratulations, Jared. All right, we're now ready for more music, and we are excited again to have Charles Billingsley come and share and bless us in a time of worship.